Hello guys, you're welcome back to the YouTube channel. I took a break for more than 2 years. That's a whole lot. And hopefully this particular time I would not be procrastinating because Ola Jidefilms to Jidefilms, and trust me, it is going to be way better than more than what you guys usually were enjoying on this particular channel. So I'm going to help you to be a better filmmaker, a better photographer, and as well a better business person. So let's ride. Today in particular, I'll be teaching us how to understand the basics of Premiere Pro and color grading as well in DaVinci. How to work in Premiere Pro, that is, if you are seeing Premiere Pro interface for the very first time, how you can develop, how you can edit your footages together, your rushes, your raw files. And I personally would shoot on S-Log 3. I'm a Sony shooter. Of course, I love Canon as well too for my weddings. Make it very, very easier to grade. So if you have shot your footages on C-Log 3, be it on ARRI RAW, be it on Red RAW, how you are going to develop them from Premiere Pro. As much as I love DaVinci Resolve, I still find it very, very tedious to edit on DaVinci. So I would rather edit on Premiere Pro and then I would export to DaVinci so I could grade. So today I'll be taking us through the process of editing, even if it is the first time you are editing on DaVinci. And even if it is the first time you are editing on Premiere Pro, I'll be showing us my workflow. So I just posted a video recently, so let me play it for
happy, and make sure to drop your opinions as well, as all this is instrumental to the success of the show. I remain your delectable and favorite host, IVD. Stay tuned.
So I will show us, this will be a kind of intro into, if I should show us the raw footages, I was able to convert and get a better, video, a better color, and I was able to qualify the skin, edit it properly, add all those assets. So I took the video, this was, okay, yeah, I found it. So I'll be showing you how I was able to, color grade, and how I was able to add all those extra layers, all those assets that you found on the video, the sound design, the voice, working on the voice. So I was able to develop it from what it was from this flat image, and then how I was able to color grade in DaVinci. So that is what we will be talking about in this particular video, in this particular tutorial. So if this is a kind of content you love and you would really have interest in, ensure you subscribe, ensure you click on the notification bell so that you can always get notification for my new videos. So let's get to work now. It won't. So usually it will tell you to either open a particular project which you've done previously, or you open a new project. So now I'll be going for a new project. So yes, this is the interface that it would give you. So I usually would love to create my project file. So whenever I just finished shooting, I will back up my files up properly, and then can you see the client's name, Ivy? And then I was able to create a folder for assets, a folder for season 1, a folder for season 2, and then my Premiere Pro files. Then you could see this is how Premiere Pro project files looks like. So, and that is what I am working with presently, and that's the name I choose to give my project. So I would come to project location. I will try and find where my videos are. I learned this in a very hard way, because when I used to work on Windows, I would just, well, let me say when I started out in filmmaking, so I usually would just put my project file under, the default that it would always give you under applications, or under your documents in a Windows PC. You will see Premiere Pro 18, 19, 20, whichever version you are using, and then you'll be able to, it automatically helps you to choose that folder. So my project file is usually inside the same folder where I backed up all my files. So that is why you could see this particular one here. So I will choose the same folder. I already create one. So then you can, once you've done this, give your project a particular name. So let's say we want to do a tutorial, and then I'll be saving it. Let me save it in the same folder where the files I'll be. So I'll be creating a folder for tutorial here. So I'll just be naming it with tut, just to save, to save time. So then, so when I come here now, I'll be able to see. Can you see that the folder I created over there? Of course, you can always create it from here as well. So you can always tap on new folder. So I'll save it as tut, and then chose. So my project is right in this particular address, so makes it easier for me to be able to locate my project file whenever I need it, or even if I change locations, or if I move my files from one drive to another. So now I can click on create. So of course, for the very first time, if you are new to Premiere Pro, this could be very, very, very intimidating. I remember the very first time I shot a particular music video for one of my friends, 2018, and I was going to edit it. Shot on that was Canon 550D, my very first DSLR camera, and I couldn't edit those footages myself because it was very, very hard for me to relate with Premiere Pro. Of course, I was used to Premiere Pro. I know all these toolbars. I could still say, okay, this is my pick tool, this is my, but I didn't understand them as much as I should. So don't be intimidated by, this is actually my interface. Let me go to my window, and I'll be changing it from, I designed this myself, Jidefilms. So the default you get at times while welcoming you could be on editing. So this is how your edit interface usually looks like. You don't have all this. Like I said, I was the one that created all this. I'll be explaining how you can get used, how you can understand everything, every part of Premiere Pro for you now. So now source clip is where you preview whatever file or whatever video or pictures you are trying to preview. So this is like a monitor for whatsoever file you are trying to preview here. So now I'll be importing. It is telling me import to start. So without files, it is just like not having anything to work with, and you are in an office. There is no PC, there is no gimbal, there is no lights. So how are you going to work? So you've got to import the files that you want to edit and match together. So you can import by double tapping. If you double tap on this panel, it would automatically gives you a folder that allows you to import files fresh. So that's option one. Or you can come to your file and then you click on import, and you can see at the same time it is giving you an option for Command I. On window it will be Control I. So that's what we are going to do now. So I will press Control I, takes me to the same space, and the same thing if I am coming from my file to import whatsoever file I want to import. Are we getting along? So now I will double tap. So now I can easily go back to where I saved my files, IV. So then I will just import two folders at the same time. That might take us a lot of time depending on the speed of your PC. While I was recording, my receiver was directly plugged to my camera, so I have all my audios, and the channels were properly separated, channel 1 and channel 2. And besides, for this particular video that we are working on, it is much easier because we are only working on just one person talking. So let's open that particular file. So we'll be working on this season 1. Let me close it. Season 2 is what we'll be working, and these are my audio files. They are very, very important. So we'll go to Cam 1. That is where the files. So this particular panel allows you to know how to find your clips easily. So now this is for, the project is writable, which is giving you an audacity for that. This is a list view. Most editors usually would prefer to have their videos previewed this way, but me, I don't like it for no reason. So it will give you all the informations about your video. So this is 25. This is the name of your videos. If you could customize the name of your videos to maybe Jidefilms or whatever you want to customize it to, it allows you. This is your frame rate, allows you to know the frame rate at which you shot at. Then this one is for the time code of your video. So I don't like this. Like I said, I'll rather go for this particular view. I love it when I could save my clip easily. And then this one allows you to have a freeform view, so whereby you'll be able to see your video, and then you see the strength of the audio as well to the waveforms that your video files are. So I'll be taking this out as well. So I prefer this particular view. This allows you to increase and decrease the size of each video files. I'll leave it on 2 layers. I love having at least 2 layers on my video, and then This one is for you to sort. You could sort your video by whichever way that you like. I love arranging it by name, so it would be very very easy for me to know how I recorded my own clips. And this is your search bar. If you are looking for a particular file, you could use this to find it. And then this is a new folder. If you want a new bin, if you want a new folder, you could always use this to create a new folder if needed. And then this is for a new item, if you want to add a new item. And we are going to start with this, but not now. So you could create a new sequence from here. You could create a project shortcut offline file if you want. If you are editing to send to another person to color grade for you, if you're editing and all, maybe you want to have an extra editor. So these are the ways that you could do all these things. Black video color mate, we'll get to all of these things. And then like I said, this particular windows, this source window allows you to preview your file. So now if I want to preview this particular file, I don't need to drag and drop here, which is one of the options you could use. So once I double tap, allows me to see what was recorded, and I could just scrub through my clip if it is the right clip that I'll be using. So, and this at the same time allows me to see how my file looks like. I always love having info, which is information about the clip. So it is telling me that this is a movie file, not MP4. And I shot at 24 frames per second, and then it was shot on HD 1920 by 1080p, which is the normal rate. And then it was shot on, my audio file is on 16 bits, 4800 hertz. All the informations about my clip, the duration of my clip. So if I want to preview another one, just come here and you double tap on, wherever this window is. You could choose to bring it here as the default file usually is on Premiere Pro. This is how it usually is. Can you see that it is still changing? So you could choose to bring all these folders here, but it is just all about your preference. You could bring this particular window, you could drag and drop it here, you could move it here, you could move it to wherever you like. But just for my own customization, I prefer having all my windows, especially for my files. I love having them here. Even my effect panel, by default your effect panel is not going to be here. Your effect panel will be here. I was the one that dragged dates, and I moved it here because I prefer working that way. So now let's move forward. So let's go back to, we are working with our cam. Don't forget, I prefer working this way. So let me preview and see if this is what I want to use.
There you have it. We have come to the end of another.
This particular one was shot on 4K. If I tap on another one, because I needed this as just a slow-mo, this was shot on, can you see this was shot on 1080p, while this particular one was on 4K. So I prefer to work with the 4K project file. So now I'll create a sequence. Sequence is just like, why do I stress myself when I could use Google? So together, let us check what sequence is. Sequence meaning. All right. So a particular order in which related things follow each other, and as well also it is, at times they will tell you to tell a story in sequential form. They will tell you to write stories, in genealogy form. They will tell you to write things in alphabetical order. So sequence means how a particular event happened. How I woke up in the morning, opened the blind of my window, and then I saw that the time is past gone. I rushed to the bedroom, brushed my teeth, and then, off I left for work. That's the sequence of how my day went. So if we are to talk about filmmaking, sequence is that place that allows you to tell this kind of story. Once you open a sequence, you'll be able to now start arranging the clips that you want to edit. I'll be creating a sequence. Can you see? Here is telling me drop media here to create sequence. You can create sequence in many ways. You could come to your file, you could click on sequence. It gives you your sequence table to be able to set up how you want your sequence to be. You could come here as well to new item, and once you tap on it, it gives you the same window. And then the fastest way, which I know that a lot of people usually would love, is they will just tap on the videos that they imported, and they go to, once you scroll down, you will see new sequence from clip. So you could do this. So the advantage in creating a sequence from your clip is that it allows you to automatically set. The advantage of creating a sequence from your clip is it automatically do all the settings for you, and you will just continue working. So once I tap on this, it creates a sequence for me automatically in the name of the video. Can you see? In the name of the video, can you see what the sequence looks like in the name of the video, and set the resolution for me automatically. Or let me undo. Another way is if I am coming here and if I'm coming to my sequence, and then I'm checking out. I usually would use DSLR, is the recommended one. That's what I personally chose. So choose 25 frames depending on the frame rate that you shot. So I shot on 24 frame rate, so I could use 24, I could use 25, but my video was shot on 4K, so definitely 1080p cannot work for this particular video. It is either I am looking for a 4K resolution, or I am coming here automatically, then I'll come to settings, and then I am checking out 1920 times 2. I won't know the calculation, so you could change it here. And if you are shooting for whatsoever resolution, you can always come here to do it. And if it is a resolution that you like, you can save it as a preset. So but for this particular one, to save our time, I'll be creating my sequence from my clip. So automatically I have it, and if I want to rename this, I can always rename it. So let's say tutorial. Okay, so now let's preview our video. Roll it again. We have come to G5.
And there you have it. We have come to the end of another exciting, fantabulous episode of Talk Uncensored with IVD. I sat in the studio with the
So there are so many reasons why you need to preview your clips, because there could be mistakes, especially if it was not even shot by you. So if it was shot by you, then it is an extra advantage because you know what you shot. Like I said, this is an S-log footage. So let's
amazing, interesting, and entertaining Nasboy, who gave us an interesting conversation. Trust me, it was one for the books. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still watching by this time, please do well to subscribe, share, like, and comment, and make sure to follow Talk Uncensored with IVD on every platform: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, and YouTube. Subscribe, make us happy, and make sure to drop your opinions as well, as all this is instrumental to the success of the show. I remain your delectable and favorite host, IVD. Stay tuned.
Exactly. So your clips was meant to end here as well too. So I'll zoom in, and then I will cut the same tool, the same C tool. I'll cut. So now I can easily delete it on my system. I'll press delete. Can you see that we've lost that clip, and then this as well too? So instead of deleting this is your scrubber. You can always use your scrubber to go back to the beginning of the video. So I'll use this, and instead of deleting normally, which I could have done because it is going to give me some space here, I would undo, and then I'll look for ripple delete. Yeah, can you see? So this deletes the file automatically and adjusts the space that are left here. So now we have been able to select the best clip that we want. So now this was filmed on tripod. So if I need some extra tools, if I need some extra editing, if I want to increase the audio level of this particular video, if it is not enough for me, so let us go through the options. You could get this by left clicking on your mouse. You can see cut, copy, that is if you want to cut, remove attributes, clear, ripple delete, edit original. If you want to replace clip with another clip, if you want to render allows your video to play smoothly, which I don't think we need to do now. Then if you want to unlink your audio and your video, so you could just tap on this unlink. So I don't think there is a reason for unlinking. If my audio was recorded separately, so I could be considering the option of relinking. Next allows you to group your video together, which we'll be doing in another video. So, and then if I want to increase the speed of my video, there is no need to increase the speed of this particular video. So now let's go to audio gain and then audio channels. So on my audio gain, I could increase the level, the decibel of this video by 5. Let's see if that works. If it
we
is
have
not
come
too
to the
loud.
end of another exciting,
So this is too loud
fantabulous
because your audio level should not be eating
episode of
the
Talk
red bar
Uncensored
level.
with
So I will reduce it by pressing -2 from the 5
IVD.
that I
I
added.
sat in the studio with the amazing, interesting.
Exactly. So now for podcast, if you could listen to the audio very well, there is a particular sound that is humming at the background, which is coming from the AC. So there is an effect that you could look for here. It is called denoise. Allows you to reduce the audio level, the noise in your video. So now let me play this.
An entertaining Nas boy who gave us an
ensure you notice the
interesting
difference.
conversation. Trust me, it was one for the books. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're still watching by this time, please do well to subscribe, share, like, and comment. And make sure to follow Talk
You
Uncensored
could
with
see the
IVD on
difference in
every
the audio once I dropped the noise. So any effect that you dragged and dropped from this effect panel would automatically come to this effect control. So now the effect that I dropped just now is called denoiser, and this is the denoiser that I added here. Let me remove the denoiser. You could see that in this particular effect control panel we don't have any options. This is motion, which is for the size of my video. This is the opacity, just as we have it in Photoshop if you want to reduce the opacity of your video, just like Photoshop gives you. And then we have audio, because audio is attached to this particular video. So now let's look for that effect again and see what happens. So denoise, can you see it added an extra effect which has been overlaid on the video. So if you are leaving it on default, which I usually don't like, it makes it to sound like a robot. So the default settings is usually 40. I would really like to reduce it to 20, and I will just be fine, with that.
I sat in the studio with the amazing,
This
interesting,
is
and
sounding
entertaining.
better. And then if you're looking at my audio, you would see that it is only one channel, which is the only right channel that it is being recorded on this video. So I could come to, I could search for this particular effect in my effect panel as well. So it is called feel right with left. So if it was audio that your camera recorded, so you could feel your left with the right. So now we'll be feeling our right, because that is where our audio is, with left as well. So now let's play it.
Facebook,
Can you
TikTok,
see the two
Spotify.
sides? You can see it now that the two audio sides are working out compared to what we earlier had. So and my voice will be louder, and my audio rather. The audio of my video has now been increased. Now even if I check it now, because the audio has now been doubled, so I can just still reduce. Maybe I should take out the volume I added. I should take it out
Thank you so
entirely.
much for watching. And
So
if you're still watching
I think I prefer it this way than adding another level of volume to it. So this is just still editing. And if she mentioned her name,
and there you have it. We have come to the
so we called because she's a presenter, there is a need to introduce whosoever is talking on the show. So that is what we normally would do under essential graphics. So usually you would come to essential graphics for that. Essentials, exactly. So this space allows you to be able to add the name of your audience, if you need credit, if you want to add any text. But I really don't like coming here for that when I could just add everything in my own working space. So can you see, because I changed the window now, some of my files has moved from here to here. So I'll come to essential graphics, and if your essential graphics is not found here, you could just come to your window and you could check anything that is missing or lacking here. Can you see essential graphics? So this is it here. So if I do not need it, essential graphics, So I have it here already. Let me close it first. Now I've just closed the panel. So if I need it back, I will just come here and tap on essential, graphics, so which I have add back. So I have some lower third which I designed. These are the normal, default lower third that automatically comes with your, which I don't like. So I designed some. If you need them, just send me a mail or send me a DM on Instagram. I promise to share some of this with you. So Premiere Pro allows you to come with a basic lower third. So it means if your screen is being divided into three, the lower third part of it is where you will be typing the name of your host. So the name of my host. So once you tap on, don't always forget to tap on. And trust me, you could always do these things manually. So, but I'll be using the auto because this is the basic training to Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve. So this allows me to be able to write the name of my, so I can tap on my type tool and then I'll come to essential graphics. So this gives me, two layer. So let's say the name of the show is Premiere Pro Tuts. Let's say that's the name. And then if I want to change this name as well, once I tap on the name bar and I click here, I can just come here and it would select all for me. So let's say the name of the host of the show is D. Once the presenter is about talking, be it documentary, be it a movie, and you want to introduce the name of the cast, it could be used as well.
Another exciting.
Exactly. So this is just basic, and if you want to reduce the size, you can easily do this. If you want to reduce the size to get that all at once, like I said, once you use anything, you can always come to the effect control panel. Can you see vector? You could reduce your resolution from here. So I think reducing it, and we could use our motion graphics. Can you see that it is going right? So let me move it back, and then this allows me to bring it down a bit. So these are basic fonts, these are basic styles of adding credits. So in a way, I don't like it because the name is coming in too sharp. It's coming too sharp and it disappears as well to too sharp. So what I will do is I will tap on the file and then I will come to my effect control. Don't forget. So I could use video transition, go to your dissolve, then you can use cross dissolve. So once you use your cross dissolve, drag and drop on the edge. Drag it and drop it on the edge of the file. You see the way it faded in. Exactly. So, and if you want it to fade out as well too, you could put it here as well too, so it fades as well. And if you need to remove it, just come here and click on clear transition. So for this, I'll be using this other effect on that slide. It is called push. This is push. Push allows my text. Can you see the way it works? Exactly. So I think I prefer it this way. So all this was what was done automatically. So how about we try writing this name manually, so which I am going to do just now. So I will leave this, okay, or let me leave it here. So I would disable it. Do you see what I did now? Enable clip becomes active, and then now I would disable it. So now I'm going to type it by myself. So IVD, then tap on my screen again for another Premiere Pro Tuts. So I'll bring this where I want it to be. I'll bring this name. I'll ensure that they are properly aligned. Then this as well, just the same way you have been working on Photoshop. So it's not hard. Exactly. So I think I like this now. So if you want to change the font, just come here, come to essential graphics. Now we've had 2 layers, just the same way we have typed Premiere Pro and then IVD. You know, you could just come here if you want to change, if you want the font to be different from each other, come here, choose the style of font that you prefer. If this is what you want, it's fine. And if you want this to have italic, you could have it. I think I'm liking this one that I designed more than, though the font still looks, you know, too big to me. Okay, so I think this is looking really nice. You can change the color if there is a need, just the same way you are working in Photoshop, but it is just, you know, arranged differently. So I love using a color from my set design. So if it is yellow I'm picking, or if it is green, even though I would have loved to have this default on white. So if I'm choosing purple, if I'm choosing this, whatever color you choose, let's say we are using a deeper purple, no, it's not fine. Okay, I think this is looking like it. And then if I want this Premiere Pro as well to be colored, let's try yellow. Let's try this color here for it. I usually will prefer this so as to keep my palette very neat. So now, can you see? So now if I need a transition for this as well, so it is not coming in sharp, neither is it fading sharp as well too. So I will just come here to the same push, or how about we do not even use a transition here? How about we do all these things manually by ourselves? So that is where tracking comes in. Tracking allows your, just like this video, it was shot on tripod, but there is a way I could edit it to make it feel like, you know, I was tracking in, like as if we use track and dolly, or as if there was a slider that was enhancing the movement of the shot, but not in shoot, but in post-production while you are editing. Editing is another room for creativity, where you bring out, editing is just another room for shoot. You know, you could shoot this way and you decide to edit it in another way entirely. So now I'll be introducing us to this vector motion. So ensure you are clicking on that particular file. So I usually would come here, I'll click on position and on scale. So I'll move this. Okay, so now let's not work on position. Let's work on position only. Scale only allows your video to get, you know, whatever you want to track, it allows you to get bigger. But scale, if you are choosing on position, it allows you to move from right to left. So now I will do a keyframe. This is a keyframe, and this is where I want it to, or this looks pretty far, so I will adjust it. This is where I want my video to, I want my text to come out. Can you see that? How was it? Can you see? No, so now this is where I want my text to come out. So I am going to add a keyframe here to the position, and then I will now drag. This works with your scrubber. Can you see? It works simultaneously. I will drag this scrubber to the beginning of the frame of my text file. So, and then I will now, if I choose to move it this way, or I move it out, so I'll move it to my right hand side, so you are not seeing it. So from this, let me zoom it in. So from this space, that is where my text would now be traveling all the way from the extreme right down to the screen that you want to see. So now let's preview what we just did. Exactly. So can you see? So now if I even now need the size to increase once it gets here, so I could click on scale, and then maybe between here and here I want the size to have increased. You could even increase it very close to, let me say I want to increase it to 11. So if I'm increasing it from this default, and I'm moving it to, let's say, from 100 to 105. Of course, I was meant to use, let me use position with it as well. So I will be increasing. So it will not be too far. Ensure that this line that you are seeing is straight still. So now I will move this all the way to the end. Okay, So now let's check our file. Can you see that it is increasing in size? Exactly. So that is how it works. So now let's preview what I designed now. I will disable this and let us preview this versus, you know, what I did versus the default design that Premiere Pro gave me. You know, I made the transition myself. Exactly. And then dissolves. So the same way I'll be disabling this now again. The same way I could enable this if I want this one to exit gloriously as well too. So from here I could just choose to track, you know. So here I want it to go back to the beginning, you know, to exit finally. So let me play it. Can you see? That's just how to do all this. So now if you are to add background music, come here again. I have a particular background music that I download. I'm not sure, I can't remember the name. So let me search for background in my download. Okay, so I just found one audio I downloaded from YouTube library. So this particular sound allows you to, you know, listen to your audio. But to save time, I will just, you know, drag and drop it. So now we'll now watch our video.
And there you have it. We have come to the end of an.
Without stress, you could know that this particular audio, the volume is louder than, you know, the major, than the most important voice itself. So we need to reduce the volume of this video. So go to your audio gain, and the shortcut for that is G. So and then you could just press -15 and see how
Another exciting, fantabulous episode of Talk Uncensored with IVD. I sat in the studio with the amazing, interesting, and entertaining Nasboy.
All right, so that seems pretty fine.
Uncensored with IVD.
So if this video is looking boring to me, if I choose to track it as well too, so as to give it a feel like, you know, we shot on 2 cams or 3 cams. Thank God we shot on 4K. So ensure you always tap on the file you want to edit. The same way I tracked the text in, I could track the same thing for my video. So I'll be using scale and position at the same time at the beginning of the video, and then I could come here, and then I will increase the size of my video, bring it down a bit, and then I will move this to the last end of where I just, you know, divided the video. So now let's watch it.
And there you have it. We have come to the end of another exciting, fantabulous episode of Talk Uncensored with IVD. I sat in the studio with the amazing.
Can we see the difference now? You know, we've just been able to do a whole lot of things. In this particular tutorial, I've taught us how to create a project, how to create sequence, how to import your files, and how to edit it, how to work on your sound, how to add background music, how to track in and to track out. So mainly because this is a podcast video, this is just what we'll be doing for this particular tutorial. So let us go to the end of our video and see what we can still do to that.
And favorite host, IVD. Stay tuned.
So because the video was getting to the end of we were getting to the end of the video, so the sound, I think the sound also increased.
Your opinions as well, as all this is instrumental to the success of the show.
So because if you check the beginning of the sound, it was the WAV files was not as large. To enhance editing your audio, you can always tap on this panel, so you'll be able to see. Can you see how low it was here? And then we need to adjust the audio towards the end. So what I would do is to come here, and then I would look for this option, pen 2, just like we have it in Photoshop. Always remember to save your files. So from here, where it seems that the sound was getting louder, I would create a point, which is just like another keyframe, and then I will reduce it down so that it is not competing. So let's watch.
who gave us an interesting conversation. Trust me, it was one for the books. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're still watching by this time, please do well to subscribe.
Exactly. So that feels well. So let us check the end.
And then your delectable and favorite host, IVD. Stay tuned.
So I could still give it field space, and then I'll go to my effect control panel. I'll search for just come to audio transition. All the effects are grouped. We have lumetri preset, which is for your color grading. We have audio effects, and then they are all in a folder. We have audio transitions, we have video effects, and we have video transitions as well too. So here we need to look for a particular effect on audio transitions. Then you come to your crossfade and then exponential fade, which means my audio is going to fade towards the end of the video, and you can just increase it. The same thing we are going to do for our video, because we have gotten to the end of the video. Come to your video transition as well too, and you look for deep to black. So let's see how it feels.
IVD, stay tuned.
So I still need to have her show a bit. So let's see how it
Host,
feels.
IVD, stay tuned.
So,
and there you have it. We have come to the end of another exciting, fantabulous episode of Talk.
So now we have been able to edit now. We need to, is there any other thing that I still need to explain to you here? So we've talked about so many things. So let me know if you enjoyed this particular video. But before we wrap it to an end, I won't be grading this particular video in Premiere Pro. Premiere Pro, I am sorry, I'm a fan of DaVinci when it comes to color grading. So I will teach you 2 ways by which you can export this file that you have made now, how you can export it, and take it to DaVinci to color grade. And for Premiere Pro users, people that still prefer to, because you could not pay for the paid version and you still prefer to, work on Premiere Pro, so you're not paying a whole lot, to software companies. So I'll make a tutorial on how to color grade in Premiere Pro as well too. But for this particular one, I'll be showing us how to export to DaVinci so you could grade. So there are 2 ways to export to your DaVinci. So the first way is by exporting it to XML file. Okay, so XML, it means extensible markup language. So it lets you define and store data in a shareable manner, whereby all your files are preserved, and you can, you could even use it on a website, you could use it on anywhere, and you are not exporting in a very large file. So to export as XML file, it allows DaVinci to read all that you have done and edited in Premiere Pro. Of course, it is always good to strip every effect you have added in Premiere Pro off whenever you are exporting to DaVinci, because DaVinci may not be able to understand that language. And of course, they are competing companies. Of course, they want 1 or 2 things to be different. They don't want you to even be using another software, you get. So now I will be disabling all my text file, because I won't be able to use them in DaVinci. So now if you want to export to DaVinci, just come to file, and then you go down to export. And then the first option you are seeing is media, which I'll be explaining later. That's why you need to stick to this video and ensure you watch it till the end. So I'll be exporting to Final Cut Pro XML. So if you are exporting to XML, you could see Final Cut Pro XML, that's the format file. And then whichever folder, I love keeping it in my assets, and then I'll just save it as tutorial. That's the first option. It gives you 1 information, just press OK. Then the other option is by coming to export. So you export your file not as the normal way that you would have exported your video as H.264, which is the default for video export, YouTube and the rest. So you would export it as a QuickTime file. Instead of H.264, you export as QuickTime. So, and then it will be in Apple ProRes 422, high quality to export your file. So this gives you, it still keeps your video as raw as you shot it, so that you will be able to, but the stress in this is, you have to still go to do auto cut in DaVinci Resolve, unlike XML file that just keep all your files separately. This exports all your file video as one, but XML exports them separately. I hope you have been able to learn 1 or 2 things in this beginner's course to Premiere Pro and DaVinci Resolve. So if you love this, please ensure you give it a thumbs up. And if you have any questions, if there are things that you feel like I have not taught in Premiere Pro, drop it in comment sections and let me know, so that we could make a future videos about it. And if you learn something new that you feel like you really enjoy, kindly give me a shout out. Let me know. Share this video, give it likes, and show your appreciation. Let us know that you love it. My name is Jidefilms. Jidefilms on every platform, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well too. And if there are future videos you would want me to make for you, kindly let me know. It's so good to have this done. And the part 2 of this would be when we are going to color grade this particular video in DaVinci Resolve. Good to have you. See you some other time. Bye.